So for today's video, I thought we would give good old-fashioned control scout, shout scout if you will, a whirl on the ladder, largely because I've been seeing a heavy amount of Hlaalu decks lately, and so some Drain Vitality will probably go a long way in a lot of our games. So we're going to go ahead and jump in, just like we always do with the deck testing videos. We're going to play 2 games, put up our results, win or lose. Again, the focus of this is to be very anti-aggro. Drain Vitality is a big part of the game plan, but the other really cool thing about this list is Houses of Morrowind has introduced the new necromancer, and the new necromancer, in my opinion, is very, very good because you get, oh, right out of the gate we get fun stuff. You get some new and old targets with the necromancer. It's really good with Greybeard Mentor. Can also be used with Word Wall in a pinch. It's good with a unbuffed bat. But it also works on Territorial Viper, and so the Viper is a new addition to the deck along with the Necromancer.
There's a plan.
Less late game because honestly everything is pretty low to the ground, if you will, in the meta right now. So less of a reason to focus. Alright. We have to decide if we're up against aggro or mid-range or whatever, because if it's against a control deck, saving Galen for something like Paarthurnax is huge. However, if against a mid-range or similar deck, Galen on something like a Viper or a Leaf Lurker ends up being pretty good. Now we do have a Soul Terror, we can always get Galen back, so that's also on my mind. So I think we're going to go ahead and use it and just shove some more Vipers in the deck. We want to contest this because we're playing a control deck, and we're going to put it on Viper. I mean, worst case scenario, it makes a bunch of 4/4 chargers, so not the end of the world.
Trouble, you'll find it. You won't spoil my plan.
It's a very good pickup for us as well. How do we want to handle this? Now, could go crashing into this and just pass, save our Viper. Could ring into a Viper and just clear. That prevents the rally. Then we're only left with really Leaf Lurker to defend. So I think right now we're going to take the conservative approach. Try to get a value trade if we can. They do get the rally, but whatever creature they get the rally on, hopefully we can answer with Leaf Lurker or Viper. So, alright, interesting. That is a Word Wall. Onto a Drain Vitality. So that was very interesting indeed. So just based on our hand, this Mentor is most likely to fetch a Soul Tear. But either way, we're going to go ahead and play it, generate some value. There it is. And kind of want to play the Word Wall just to buy us a little bit of time. But we don't need to necessarily. I think we're going to save the ring charge. Not too worried about damage at the moment.
You took a wrong turn.
You won't spoil my plan.
Still haven't seen whatever the rally effects have triggered on. Ah, Cauldron Keeper. So this is certainly some form of controlling monk build. But at least now we know. This is for sure going to eat a Viper. No questions asked there. This is going to go here. Get that nice and down. Go ahead and Viper. The real question now is what do we want to do over here? Because we know that we're going to end up doing a level 3 drain here in the semi-immediate future. Let's just go ahead and do that. We'll speed bump it. We don't need to conserve the 04 body. It's basically level up a shout, gain 4 health.
You won't spoil my
The Viper dying is fine because we have Soul Tears. We also shuffled some more in. So we got a lot working in our favor at the moment. I think we just take the trade so that he stops getting the rally value. Fighters Guild, and this will almost certainly eat some sort of javelin or other hard removal. I don't think they can afford to let us get the drain and ramp off there. So it should be eat hard removal. Okay.
You won't spoil my plan.
So it's 2 drains down. Go ahead and do that. This actually may be a play mistake. I can tell it's been a bit since I have piloted this deck. So the reason that's a play mistake in hindsight is we don't get the immediate trade.
You won't spoil
And against willpower decks, that's important because of cast into time. Now, thankfully, they are just going to eat it with a shear point. But if they would have used cast into time there, our poor bats would not have had a good time. We've generated a lot of card advantage for us now. Still have 2 Soul Tears to get back whatever we want. Brynjolf if we want the health gain, etc, etc. I think right now we just stall for a turn. I don't think we need to do anything super drastic. Kind of holding out on the Soul Tears for more obvious bat plays, maybe running into some word walls to level them up. I'd also really like to see some necromancers. Alright, so there's all 3 drains from our opponent. So we have that working in our favor. That working in our favor. Alright, we're going to end up using our last ring charge, but what we're going to do is we're going to probably drain and leaf lurker here, then use our Viper to trade here because it sets up potential value trades, so they'll have to do something, and we need to get rid of that anyway. So, let's get that out of the way. Let's knock that down.
The forest is my cloak.
Drop a lurker. We'll take a little bit of damage, but...
You won't spoil my plan.
Alright, so he's just preventing the value trade. It's entirely reasonable.
Let's go then.
Let's play the Baroness and see what we get. Hey, there's a Necromancer. So the Necromancer is great because, again, it can fetch Vipers. It can fetch Pets, Giant Bat, Word Wall if we really want to level up these Soul Tears. It just provides us with an awful lot of flexibility. Necromancer on the Word Wall is interesting because it levels up Soul Tears, which then you can either use on your Bats or use on your Necromancers to be cyclical. I think we're just going to go ahead and let that go for now. We're going to leave the health up because we're probably going to have to bring Brynjolf back and or Bats, and we might need to drain against face to survive, so... That is entirely reasonable. So this Viper trades even here, should we need to. So with 11 Magicka, theoretically we could Necromancer on a Word Wall to level up a Soul Tear, costing us only 4. Soul Tear onto a Bat, which would cost us a total of 7, and then use the Bat to crash in here and gain some health, and we would even still have 1 Magicka left over. which again is probably reasonable. We want to get these leveled up because we need the bat plays and we need some health. So I think that's what we're going to do.
Rise, my sir.
Let's go ahead and get a word wall out to level up our soul tear. Soul tear on a bat. And do that. Alright. Tazcad is one of those annoying, problematic cards.
The day is yours.
Or they could just concede. That's fair. I mean, they have to think that we're going to get a 7/7 bat to trade, which is certainly on my mind. I was likely going to attack in Leaf Lurker and then find a 7/7 bat to drain, leaving the 4/4. But hey, we will take concession victories as well. They are every bit as valid. In fact, they're probably more valid when you're playing control. So, yeah. There's game one. Wasn't against aggro. We didn't even get to play a level 3 drain, but kind of didn't need to yet. We were flirting with death a little bit. Game one was successful, though. There are versions of this list floating around. This is just the one that I like to run. There are some that run 3 copies of A Night to Remember and only 2 copies of Viper. I think that the Viper is really important to have because I've been seeing a lot of Hlaalu, but also a lot of mid-range. So having something that trades hard into the big bodies. Oh look, Tribunal. So, strong chance. That's tempting. No, should have back. Strong chance that we just play control mirrors when I try to showcase a deck that you might want to play against Hlaalu. It's just the way these recordings go. You knock on the door saying, "Hello, is aggro home?" And instead, you find control.
They've no move we can't anticipate.
Well, I think... Actually, this is interesting, right? Technically, Soul Tear gives us more flexibility, but we would have to use it on a Red Brahmin, or we could take the Red Brahmin. But I think you take the Soul Tear here because of the flexibility. Let the Red Brahmin go. So we're really only punished by this if they run Memory Wraith. It's like the only way that that's not the correct play there. Okay. So we're not only playing against Tribunal, but we're playing against Tribunal that runs Hist Groves. Alright.
I will keep
We're gonna go ahead and play Galen on this Baroness then. I have a feeling that we're going to need big bodies more than any of these other anti-aggro tools.
So pretty.
We're also going to do something really odd, and we're going to generate pressure, I think. Our opponent already has a million cards.
The Outlanders.
They've also technically got a Magicka advantage here. So we want to force them to have to deal with this.
Hiding will not save you.
That is a Nahagleaf, aka Naha No You Didn't Dragon. But dragons, it turns out, are weak to danger noodles. I don't know if you know that or not, but they are allergic to snake venom. And thus, we push forward. Because they've got a lot of cards, but we also still have a lot of cards, and we want to do just that. We want to kind of force them to feel uncomfortable. So we could trade even. We could trade even, and then Soul Tear it and make even more copies of Eclipse Baroness, which would be kind of comical. Could just Sanctuary pet it, which feels more correct though. So we're gonna do that, I think. This is one of these cards that has been creeping into decks more and more and more lately, especially with Hlaalu. With Hlaalu being as popular as it is right now on the ladder, this card is significantly better than it looks. Yeah, I think we go ahead and take that trade, try to push here. Then we're gonna drop a Baroness here, see what we get.
Time is precious.
Ooh. You'd have to break 2 runes to make me overdraw. I think we're safe. Or break 1 rune and kill the Baroness. I guess that's also reasonable. Hey look, a night to remember. Well, at least we got
May
the
the
parse.
ancestors bless us.
I really want that edict, huh? Well, the good news is we're going to make a lot of Parthenax copies here. Unless, of course, this gets nuked by the prophecy, which is kind of a bummer. They're thinking about it. They're thinking, is it worth it on a 3/3? They say no. So we're going to go ahead and do this.
I will keep sofa-silled people alive.
Let's just make all of the Parthenaxes, I guess.
I will keep sofa-silled people alive. What have we here?
And then let's go see what we can find. I mean, that's reasonable. Let's go see what we can find. It's a second drain. And let's at least shackle that so that we don't take a ton to the face. Might actually be worth it to crash our bat into something and super level up the Soul Terrors then.
There's always a way,
go that route.
and I can always find it. History shall remember this day.
If I fall, the hiss
Put it there.
will reclaim me.
So now we have a lot of choices to make. Because with Uncano or some lightning bolts, we are at risk of technically dying if we don't do something to gain some health here or slow down their board. But we do have the ability to give their entire board -4/-4 if we want. Or we have the ability to make a big bat. But not jump all the way up to level 3, sadly. We're 1 magic short of that, because we would need 1, 2, and we would have to play each of these, and then the bat technically a second time, because we have no way to discard it. So, I think that the path is still one of making the bats be kind of silly. So we're gonna go that way. Put some guards up. Gain some health.
History shall remember this day. There's always a way, and I can always find it.
So we can make at least one giant bat, potentially take him down to 5 if we go straight face. Which may be necessary. We gotta close the game out because this is gonna pop. Or we could Hail Mary draw. Interesting. It's probably still the bat, would be my guess, because they would have to answer it. Alright, so they're gonna hit a prophecy. Not exactly a shock here. Alright, we're gonna do that. We're okay with doing that because, to be honest, our next turn is either Baroness and go hunting for stuff, or Parth, and if we want to play Parth and hunt for Drain Vitalities, we want them to be level 3. So that's okay.
Now you will see real power.
This is only okay if they don't gain health.
There's always a way, and
Wow.
I can always find it.
I will keep Sothasild's people alive.
Wow, so much Laneth. Well, if we top deck a Soul Tear, we probably win.
This should be fascinating.
Please hit me. Give me that card. Smart player. Smart player. So again, we could Parth. Problem with the Parth play is that, like, even if we get 2 Drain Vitalities, I mean, even if we get 3, we don't fully wipe the board. Even if we get 2, it's probably not enough to be safe. So it's really, we have to go hunting for cards. I mean, that's really our only realistic out at this point. If we play this, we would hope to draw Soul Tear. It would cost 1, which would still let us get a bat and play it. Thieves Guild could let us draw into other Thieves Guilds or Masterminds to dig deeper, though, and still have the same net effect. So as tempting as that is, this ends up being the correct play if we're trying to hunt. And that's going to be game. Our opponent is going to take it from us. Because we do not have enough to survive. The black magic, blood magic, excuse me,
My time is
spell.
precious.
Oh, and of course, it was 2 cards down. Yeah. Well, that's very sad. We were a card away, gang. We were a card away. That's alright.
Your blood will be
Again, this is more a deck that is teched to beat aggro, and we didn't find it. So, 1-1 is respectable, I guess. There you have it. Yeah, I like the Viper tech. Maybe one of these days when I play a deck testing video that's meant... I played the warrior deck, right? The anti-control warrior. Ran into 0 control decks. I build anti-aggro scout. Run into 0 aggro decks. Maybe one of these days these deck test videos will showcase the desired matchup. But until then, thanks for watching. I love you guys. Until next time, may you walk on warm sands.